You have expressed concern about this loose talk of war, as you call it, driving up gas prices further. Your critics will say on Capitol Hill that you want gas prices to go higher because you have said before that will wean the American people off fossil fuels onto renewable fuels. How do you respond to that?
Ed, just from a political perspective, do you think the President of the United States going into re-election wants gas prices to go up higher? Is there anybody here who thinks that makes a lot of sense? Look.
So could these high prices help us?
I think that I would have preferred a gradual adjustment. The fact that this is such a shock to American pocketbooks is not a good thing. But if we take some steps right now to help people make the adjustment, first of all by putting more money into their pockets, but also by encouraging the market to adapt to these new circumstances more quickly, particularly U.S. automakers.
Look, here's the bottom line with respect to gas prices. I want gas prices lower because they hurt families. Because I meet folks every day who have to drive a long way to get to work, and them filling up this gas tank gets more and more painful, and is a tax out of their pocketbooks, out of their paychecks.
Yesterday, the president's energy secretary was on the hot seat when Mississippi Republican Congressman Alan Nunnally asked if the Department of Energy is actively trying to lower fuel costs.
But is the overall goal to get our price?
No, the overall goal is to decrease our dependency on oil, to build and strengthen our economy, and to decrease our dependency on oil.
Chu first irritated Republicans when he told the Wall Street Journal in 2008, quote, somehow we have to figure out how to boost the price of gasoline to the levels in Europe. The argument being if Americans are forced to pay $8 or more per gallon, that would help wean the country off fossil fuels. That logic leaves Republicans scratching their heads.
When you are literally doubling the price per gallon of gasoline, how does that strengthen your economy?
And a lot of folks are already operating on the margins right now. And it's not good for the overall economy, because when gas prices go up, consumer spending oftentimes pulls back. And we're in the midst right now of a recovery that is starting to build up steam, and we don't want to reverse it. What I have also said about gas prices is that there is no silver bullet, and the only way we're going to solve this problem over the medium and long term is with an all-of-the-above strategy that says we're going to increase production, which has happened. We are going to make sure that we are conserving energy. That's why we doubled fuel efficiency standards on cars, which will save consumers about $1.7 trillion and take about 12 billion barrels of oil offline, which will help to reduce prices. And we're going to develop clean energy technologies that allow us to continue to use less oil. And we've made progress. I mean, the good news is 2010, first time in a decade that our oil imports were actually below 50%, and they've kept on going down. And we're going to keep on looking at every strategy we can to, yes, reduce the amount of oil that we use while maintaining our living standards and maintaining our productivity and maintaining our economic growth. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that consumers aren't hurt by it.
Today we're sitting here in February of 2011, and my constituents are asking me, how come gas is at over $3 a gallon and diesel's over $3.50 a gallon? What's going to happen a year from now, February 2012, when your phone rings and you pick up the phone and he says, well, this is the president, and I've got a little election coming up here in a few months, and gosh, the White House switchboard is getting a lot of calls about $4 gasoline and $4.75 diesel. You're the Secretary of Energy. What are you doing about this? And can you turn the spigot up for me so I can get reelected again? What are you going to tell
them? 5 and 10, 20 years from now, I think you and I both will see the handwriting on the wall. You see developing countries rising in prosperity, generating auto industries. The largest car manufacturer in the world is now China for the home market. And so India is going to be coming along, and you see the multinational oil companies, the Shells and ExxonMobils and Chevrons and BPs and companies of that ilk, where they feel that their future accessibility will be increasingly in deep offshore and Arctic. So you see a rising demand, you see going to more expensive sources. So in the long term,
Mr. Secretary, I appreciate that, but I think you're going to need to polish that answer a little bit if you get that call, because he's going to be looking for something a lot more immediate than the long-term 20-year picture that you're talking about. My constituents are concerned. I mean, they go out and fill their car with gas once a week or what have you, and they are really concerned. You're the Secretary of Energy, and I understand your answer that you're not responsible for a world commodity. But as the Secretary of Energy, you're going to have to answer some questions about this, because I understand you say you don't know what's going to happen a year from now, but certainly you're reading the trade publications and everyone else that talk about China's thirst, India's thirst, the fact that our production goes down day by day by day. I mean, this is not getting any better, and a year from now it isn't going to be any better, and the president's going to be looking to you for some immediate answers.
You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket. Even, regardless of what I say about whether coal is good or bad, because I'm capping greenhouse gases, coal-powered plants, natural gas, you name it, whatever the plants were, whatever the industry was, they would have to retrofit their operations. That will cost money. They will pass that money on to consumers.